The history of James Bond. James Bond is a fictional character created by novelist Ian Fleming in 1953. Bond is a British secret agent working for MI6, who also answers to his codename 007. He has been portrayed on film by actors Sean Connery, David Niven, George Lazenby, Roger Moore, Timothy Dalton, Pierce Brosnan, and Daniel Craig in 26 productions. All but 2 of the films were made by Eon Productions. Ian now holds the full adaptation rights to all of Fleming's Bond novels. Dr.no, 1962. Strangways, the British intelligence, SIS, station chief in Jamaica is killed. In response, British agent James Bond, also known as 007, is sent to Jamaica to investigate the circumstances. During his investigations, Bond meets Royale, a Cayman fisherman who has been working with strangways around the nearby islands to collect mineral samples. One of the islands was Crab Key, home to the reclusive dr.no. Bond visits the island where he meets a local shell diver, Honey Ryder. The 3 are attacked by No's men, who kill Quarrel using a flame-throwing armored tractor, and Bond and Honey are taken prisoner. Dr.no informs them that he is a member of Spectre, the Special Executive for Counterintelligence, Terrorism, Revenge, and Extortation, and he plans to disrupt the Project Mercury space launch from Cape Canaveral with his atomic-powered radio beam. Bond and Honey escape from the island, killing dr.no and blowing up his lair in the process. From Russia with Love, 1963. Spectre's expert planner, Kornstein, known as Number 12, upon order of the organization's Number 1, devises a plot to steal a Lecter cryptographic device from the Soviets and sell it back to them while extracting revenge on Bond for killing their agent, dr.no. Ex-Mirish operative Rosa Klebb, Spectre's Number 3, is in charge of the mission. She recruits Donald Grant as an assassin and Tatiana Romanova, a cipher clerk at the Soviet consulate in Istanbul, as the unwitting bait. Bond travels to Turkey and meets with Ali Krim Bey, the MI6 officer in Turkey. Between them, they obtain the Lecter, and the 3 escape with the device on the Orient Express. However, they are followed by Grant, who kills Krim and Bey and a Soviet security officer. Grant pretends to be another British agent and meets Bond. Over dinner, Grant drugs Romanova, then overcomes Bond. Bond tricks Grant into opening Bond's attaché case in a manner that detonates its tear gas booby trap, allowing Bond to attack and kill him. Bond and Romanova escape with the Lecter to Venice. Rosa Klebb, disguised as a hotel maid, attempts to steal the Lecter and kill Bond, but ends up being shot by Romanova. Goldfinger, 1964. Bond is ordered to observe a bullion dealer, Eric Goldfinger. He suspects Goldfinger of cheating at cards and foils his scheme by distracting his female accomplice, who is later killed by Goldfinger's Korean manservant and henchman Oddjob after Bond seduces her. Bond is then instructed to investigate Goldfinger's gold smuggling operation, and he tails the dealer to Switzerland. Bond is captured when he reconnoiters Goldfinger's plan and is drugged unconscious. Goldfinger then transports Bond to his Kentucky stud farm, where he holds Bond captive. Bond escapes briefly to witness Goldfinger's meeting with the U.S. mafioso, observing secretly as Goldfinger presents to the gangsters his plan to rob Fort Knox by using materials they have smuggled to him, and later kills them to avoid paying issues. Bond is recaptured after hearing the details of the operation, but he subsequently seduces Pussy Galore, Goldfinger's private pilot, and convinces her to inform the American authorities. Goldfinger's private army breaks into Fort Knox and accesses the vault, where Bond fights and kills Oddjob, while the American troops battle with Goldfinger's army outside. Bond's plane is hijacked by Goldfinger, but Bond struggles with him and shoots out a window, creating an explosive decompression, killing Goldfinger. Thunderball, 1965. Bond investigates the hijacking of an Avro Vulcan, loaded with 2 atomic bombs, which has been taken by Spectre. The organization demands a ransom for the return of the bombs. Bond follows a lead to the Bahamas, where he meets up with his CIA counterpart and friend, Felix Leiter. The pair suspect a rich playboy, Emilio Largo, who is soon discovered to be Spectre's number 2, ordered by the secretive number 1 to direct the operation, and search the area around his yacht, and then the area where they think the yacht might have traveled. After finding the plane, but without the nuclear devices on board, the 2 agents arrange for Largo's yacht to be tracked and ambushed once the bombs have been moved by Largo. Casino Royale, 1967. Bond is brought out of retirement to deal with Smirsch, and is promoted to the head of MI6 on the death of M. He recruits a Baccarat player, Elvin Trimble, to beat Smirsch agent Lecharf. Having embezzled Smirsch's money, Lecharf is desperate for money to cover up his theft. Trimble stops Lecharf's cheating and beats him in a game of Baccarat. Trimble is captured, tortured, and killed. Bond establishes that the casino is located atop a giant underground headquarters run by the evil dr.no. He and Moneypenny travel there to investigate. Dr.no turns out to be Sir James's nephew, Jimmy Bond, who plans to use the biological warfare to make all women beautiful and kill all tall men, leaving him as the big man who gets all the girls. The casino is then overrun by secret agents and a battle ensues, but the building explodes, killing all inside. You Only Live Twice, 1967. 007 is sent to Japan to investigate the spacecraft theft and astronaut kidnapping in orbit of an American Project Gemini spacecraft, Jupiter 16, by an unidentified spacecraft. Upon his arrival, Bond is contacted by Akai, assistant to the Japanese Secret Service leader, Tiger Tanaka. Bond establishes that the mastermind behind the hijacking is Spectre's number 1, Ernst Starvo Blofeld. In conjunction with Osato, a local industrialist, Bond follows the trail to Blofeld's island, headquarters, and spaceport. While the spacecraft Bird 1 attacks a Soviet capsule, Blofeld explains to Bond that his plot is to fake in front of each superpower that Bird 1 is an enemy spacecraft to transform the Cold War into World War III. Tanaka's ninja troops attack the island while Bond manages to distract Blofeld and create a diversion which allows him to open the hatch, letting in the ninjas. During the battle, Osato is killed by Blofeld, who activates the base's self-destruct system and escapes. Bond, Kissy, Tanaka, and the surviving ninjas escape through the cave tunnels before it explodes, and they are rescued by a submarine. On Her Majesty's Secret Service, 1969. While searching for Blofeld, the head of Spectre, Bond saves Tracy Di Vincio on the beach from committing suicide by drowning, and later meets her again in a casino. Bond then receives information from Mark Ainge Draco, the head of the European crime syndicate, Union E Corps, and Tracy's father, about Blofeld's Swiss solicitor. Bond breaks into the solicitor's office and establishes Blofeld as corresponding with London's College of Arms, posing as an emissary of the college. Bond meets Blofeld, who has established a clinical allergy research institute atop Plisglora in the Swiss Alps. Bond soon establishes that Blofeld is brainwashing his patients to distribute biological warfare agents throughout various parts of the world. Bond escapes from the clinic after Blofeld identifies him as a British agent. Bond arranges a raid on the clinic using men from Draco's organization. The raid is a success, although Blofeld escapes. Bond marries Tracy, but she is murdered shortly afterwards by Irma Blunt, Blofeld's partner. Diamonds Are Forever, 1971. Bond is tasked with investigating a major diamond smuggling ring which begins in Africa and runs through Holland and the UK to the United States. Disguised as a professional smuggler and murderer, Peter Franks, Bond travels to Amsterdam to contact Tiffany Case. He is given the diamonds and travels on to the US, where he is met by Felix Leiter. Bond moves through the chain, which leads to the White House, a casino hotel owned by reclusive billionaire Walter White. Bond follows the diamonds to a pickup by Bert Saxby, White's head of security, and then onto a research laboratory owned by White, where he finds that a satellite is being built by a laser refraction specialist, Professor Dr. Metz. Suspecting White, Bond tries to confront him, but instead meets Blofeld, who captures the agent and explains to him that the satellite can blow up nuclear missiles. Blofeld admits that he intends to auction it to the highest bidder. Bond escapes and frees the captive White, and they establish that Blofeld is using the offshore oil rig as a base. Bond attacks the rig, stopping Blofeld's operations and dispersing his organization. Live and Let Die, 1973. Bond is sent to investigate the murder of 3 British MI6 agents, all of whom had been killed within 24 hours. He discovers that his victims were all separately investigating the operations of Dr. Katanga, the dictator of a small Caribbean island, San Montique. He also establishes that Katanga also acts as Mr. Big, a ruthless and cunning American gangster. Upon visiting San Montique, Bond determines that Katanga is producing 2 tons of heroin and is protecting the poppy fields by exploiting locals' fear of voodoo and the occult. Although his alter ego, Mr. Big, Katanga plans to distribute the heroin free of charge at his Filet of Souls restaurants, which will increase the number of addicts. Bond is captured by Katanga, but he escapes, killing Katanga and destroying the poppy crop. The Man with the Golden Gun, 1974. After receiving a golden bullet with James Bond's code 007 etched onto its surface, M relieves Bond of a mission locating a British scientist, Gibson, who has invented the Solace agitator, a device to harness solar power, thereby solving the energy crisis. The bullet signifies that Bond is the target of assassin Francisco Scaramanga, and Bond sets out to unofficially find him. From a spent golden bullet, Bond tracks Scaramanga to Maku, where he sees Scaramanga's mistress collecting golden bullets at a casino. Bond follows her to Hong Kong, where he witnesses the murder of Gibson and the theft of the solar agitator. Bond is subsequently assigned to retrieve the agitator and assassinate Scaramanga. Bond meets with Hai Fat, a wealthy Thai entrepreneur suspected of arranging Gibson's murder, and is captured, but subsequently escapes. He tracks Scaramanga to an island in the Red Chinese waters, where the 2 men fight and Bond kills the assassin. The Spy Who Loved Me, 1977. Bond is tasked with investigating the disappearance of British and Soviet ballistic missile submarines and the subsequent offer to sell a submarine tracking system. Bond works alongside Major Anna Amasova of the KGB. The pair track the plans across Egypt and identify the person responsible for the thefts as shipping tycoons, scientist, and anarchist Karl Stormberg. Bond and Amasova follow a suspicious tanker owned by Stormberg and establish it is responsible for the missing submarines. The submarine in which they are traveling is also captured by Stormberg. Stormberg plans to destroy Moscow and New York, triggering nuclear war. He planned to then establish a new civilization. Bond escapes, freeing the submarine captured from the other submarines, and follows Stormberg to his headquarters, where he shoots the Tycoon and a torpedo destroys the base. Moonraker, 1979. A Drax Industries Moonraker space shuttle on loan is hijacked, and Bond is ordered to investigate. Bond meets the owner of the company, Hugo Drax, and one of Drax's scientists, Dr. Holly Goodhead. Bond follows the trail to Venice, where he establishes that Drax is manufacturing a nerve gas deadly to humans, but harmless to animals. Bond again meets Goodhead and finds out that she is a CIA agent. Bond travels to the Amazon looking for Drax's research facility, where he is captured. He and Goodhead pose as pilots on one of the 6 space shuttles being sent by Drax to a hidden space station. There, Bond finds out that Drax plans to destroy all human life by launching 50 globes containing the toxin into the Earth's atmosphere. Bond and Goodhead disable the radar jammer, hiding the station from Earth, and the U.S. sends a platoon of Marines in a Marine space shuttle. During the battle, Bond kills Drax and his station is destroyed. For Your Eyes Only, 1981. After a British spy boat sinks, a marine archaeologist, Sir Timothy Havelock, is tasked to retrieve its automatic targeting attack communicator, or ATAC, communication system before the Russians do. After Havelock is murdered by Gonzalez, a Cuban hitman, Bond is ordered to find out who hired Gonzalez. While investigating, Bond is captured, but Gonzalez is subsequently killed by Havelock's daughter Milena, and she and Bond escape. Bond identifies one of those present with Gonzalez as Emile Leopard Loki, and so follows a lead to Italy and meets with his contract, Luigi Ferreira, and a well-connected Greek businessman and intelligence informants, Eris Kristalos. Kristalos tells Bond that Loki is employed by Milos Colombo, Kristano's former organized crime partner. After Ferreira is murdered, and the evidence points to Colombo, Bond is captured by men working for Colombo. Colombo then explains that Loki was actually hired by Kristalos, who was working for the KGB to retrieve the ATAC. Bond and Milena recover the ATAC but are captured by Kristalos. They escape and follow Kristalos to Greece, where he is killed and the ATAC is destroyed by Bond. Octopussy, 1983. Bond investigates the murder of 009, killed in East Berlin, while dressed as a circus clown and carrying a fake Fabergé egg. An identical egg appears at the auction, and Bond establishes the buyer, exiled Afghan prince Kamil Khan, is working with Orlov, a renegade Soviet general, who is seeking to expand the Soviet borders into Europe. Bond meets Octopussy, a wealthy woman who leads the Octopus cult. Bond finds out that Orlov has been supplying Khan with priceless Soviet treasures, replacing them with replicas, while Khan has been smuggling the real versions into the West, via Octopussy's circus troupe. Bond infiltrates the circus and finds Orlov replaced the Soviet treasures with a nuclear warhead, primed to explode at a U.S. Air Force base in West Germany. The explosion would trigger Europe into seeking disarmament, in the belief that the bomb was an American one that was detonated by accident, leaving the West borders open to Soviet invasion. Bond deactivates the warhead and then returns to India, joining an assault on Khan's palace. Never Say Never Again, 1983. Bond investigates the hijacking of 2 cruise missiles with live nuclear warheads, which had been taken by Spectre, he meets Domino Petchici, the pilot's sister, and her lover, Maximilian Largo, Spectre's #1, who directly responds to Blofeld. Following them to France, Bond informs Domino of her brother's death and subsequently finds his MI6 colleague killed by Fatima Blush, another Spectre agent. Bond kills her. Bond and Felix later then attempt to board Largo's motor yacht, the Flying Saucer, in search of the missing nuclear warheads. Bond becomes trapped and is taken with Domino to Palmyra, Largo's base of operations in North Africa. But Bond subsequently escapes with Domino. The two agents ambush Largo while he is placing one of the bombs. A View to a Kill, 1985. Bond investigates the millionaire industrialist Max Zorin, who is trying to corner the world's market in microchips. He establishes that Zorin was previously trained and financed by the KGB, but has now gone rogue. Zorin reveals to a group of investors his plan to destroy Silicon Valley, which will give him a monopoly in the manufacturing of microchips. Bond uncovers Zorin's plan to detonate the explosives beneath the lake along Hayward and San Andreas faults, which will cause them to flood. A larger bomb is also on site in the mine to destroy a geological lock that prevents the two faults from moving at the same time. Bond destroys the bomb and subsequently kills Zorin. The Living Daylights, 1987. Bond aids the defection of KGB officer General Georgy Kozlov by wounding a female KGB sniper, Kara Milvoy, a cellist. During his debriefing, Kozlov alleges KGB's old policy of Schmidt-Spielmann, meaning death to spies, has been revived by General Leonard Pushkin, the new head of the KGB. Kozlov is subsequently abducted from the safe house and Bond is ordered to kill Pushkin. Bond tracks down Milvoy and establishes that she is Kozlov's girlfriend and that the defection was staged. He subsequently finds out that Kozlov is a friend of the arms dealer Brad Whitaker. After meeting Pushkin and faking his assassination by Bond, Bond investigates a scheme by Kozlov and Whitaker to embezzle KGB funds and use them to purchase diamonds, which they will use to purchase drugs. After Kozlov purchases the drugs, Bond destroys them. Kozlov is subsequently arrested by Pushkin while Bond kills Whitaker. License to Kill, 1989. Bond aids Felix Leiter in the capture of drug lord Fran Sanchez. Sanchez escapes and maims Leiter, killing his wife. Bond swears revenge, but is ordered to return to duty by M. Bond refuses, and M revokes his license to kill, causing Bond to become a rogue agent. Although officially stripped of his status, he is unofficially given help by Q. Bond journeys to Sanchez's home in the Republic of Isthmus and is taken into Sanchez's staff, where he manages to raise Sanchez's suspicion against a number of his employees. When Bond is taken into Sanchez's main base and drug refinery, he is recognized by one of Sanchez's men and captured. He escapes, destroying the refinery in the process, and pursues Sanchez, killing him. Goldeneye, 1995. In 1986, Bond and Alex Trefskin, Agent 006, infiltrate an illicit Soviet chemical weapons facility and plant explosive charges. 006 is shot, but Bond escapes from the facility as it explodes. 9 years later, Bond witnesses the theft by criminal organization Janus, a prototype of the Eurocopter Tiger helicopter that can withstand an electromagnetic pulse. Janus uses the helicopter to steal the control disc for the dual Goldeneye satellite weapons, using the Goldeneye to destroy the complex with an electromagnetic pulse. There were 2 survivors of the attack, the programmers, Natalia and Boris. Bond investigates the attack and reveals to the Russians where he located Natalia and learns that Alex Trevlin, who has faked his own death, was the head of Janus. Natalia tracks computer traffic to Cuba, and she and Bond travel there to locate Alex Trevlin, who reveals his plan to steal money from the Bank of England before erasing all of its financial records with Goldeneye, concealing the theft and destroying Britain's economy. Bond and Natalia destroy the satellite facility, killing Alex Trevlin and Boris in the process. Tomorrow Never Dies, 1997. Bond investigates the sinking of a British warship in Chinese waters, the theft of one of the ship's cruise missiles, and the shooting down of a Chinese fighter plane. He uncovers a link to the media mogul Elliot Carver, which suggests that Carver has purchased a GPS encoder on the black market. Bond encounters Chinese agent Hua Len, who is also investigating the matter, and the two agree to work together. They discover that Carver has used the GPS encoder to push the British ship off course and into Chinese waters to incite a war for ratings. With the British fleet on their way to China, Bond and Hua Len find Carver's stealth ship, board it, and prevent the firing of the British cruise missile at Beijing. They blow a hole in the ship, exposing it to radar, leading to its sinking and averting war between Britain and China. The World Is Not Enough, 1999. Bond recovers money for Sir Robert King, a British oil tycoon and friend of M, but the money is booby-trapped and kills King shortly afterwards. Bond traces the money to Renard, a KGB agent turned terrorist, who had previously kidnapped King's daughter Elektra. MI6 believes that Renard is targeting Elektra King a second time, and Bond is assigned to protect her. The pair are subsequently attacked. Bond visits Valentin Sikorsky and is informed that Elektra's head of security, Davidoff, is in league with Renard. Bond kills Davidoff and follows the trail to Russian ICBM base in Kazakhstan. Posing as a Russian nuclear scientist, Bond meets American nuclear physicist Christmas Jones. The two witness Renard stealing the GPS locator card and a half quantity of weapons-grade plutonium from a bomb and set off an explosion, from which Bond and Jones escape. Elektra captures M after she thinks Bond has been killed, and Bond establishes that Elektra intends to create a nuclear explosion in a submarine in Istanbul to increase the value of her own oil pipeline. Bond frees M, kills Elektra, and then disarms the bomb on the submarine, where he kills Renard. Die Another Day, 2002. Bond investigates North Korean Colonel Tan Sun Moon, who is illegally trading African conflict diamonds for weapons. Moon is apparently killed and Bond is captured and tortured for 14 months, after which he is exchanged for Zhao, Moon's assistant. Despite being suspended on his return, he decides to complete his mission and tracks down Zhao to a gene therapy clinic, where patients can have their appearances altered through DNA restructuring. Zhao escapes, but the trail leads to British billionaire Gustav Graves. Graves unveils a mirror satellite, Icarus, which is able to focus solar energy on a small area and provide year-round sunshine for crop development. Bond discovers Moon has also undergone the gene therapy and has assumed the identity of Graves. Bond then exposes Moon's plan to use the Icarus as a sun gun to cut a path through the Korean demilitarized zone with concentrated sunlight, allowing the North Korean troops to invade South Korea and reunite the countries through force. Bond disables the Icarus controls, kills Moon, and stops the invasion. Casino Royale, 2006. A reboot of the series with Bond winning his 00 status in the pre-credit sequence. Bond is instructed to investigate the funding of terrorism. He tracks down and kills a bomb maker and takes his mobile phone. Searching through the phone, Bond discovers a text message which he traces to Alex Demetrius, and then on to financier Lecharf. Lecharf's investments involve short-selling stock in successful companies, and then engineering terrorism attacks to sink their share prices. Bond foils Lecharf's plan to destroy this prototype Skyfleet airliner, which forces Lecharf to set up a high-stakes poker tournament at the Casino Royale to recoup his fortune. Bond is instructed to beat Lecharf and is aided by a member of HM Treasury, Vesper Lind. Bond beats Lecharf at the poker table, but Lind is kidnapped by Lecharf after the game, as is Bond, who is captured while pursuing them. Lind is ransomed for the money and Bond is tortured. Lecharf is subsequently killed by Mr. White, a liaison between Lecharf and a number of his clients. Bond learns that his poker winnings were never repaid to the Treasury, which Lind was supposed to have done, and Bond establishes that she is a double agent. Bond pursues her and is attacked by members of White's organizations. He survives, but White takes the money and Lind sacrifices herself in exchange for Bond's life, as he later finds out from M. Bond subsequently finds and captures White. Quantum of Solace, 2008. Along with M, Bond interrogates Mr. White regarding his organization Quantum. M's bodyguard, Mitchell, a double agent, attacks M, enabling White to escape. Bond traces the organization to Haiti and a connection to environmentalist Dominic Green. Bond uncovers a plot between Green and exiles a Bolivian general, Medrano, to put Medrano in power in Bolivia, while Quantum are given a monopoly to run the water supply to the country. Bond ascertains Quantum are damming Bolivia's fresh water supply to force the price up. Bond attacks the hotel where Green and Medrano are finalizing their plans and leaves Green stranded in the desert with only a tin of engine oil to drink. Bond then finds Vesper Lind's former lover and member of Quantum, Yusuf Cabra. Skyfall, 2012. After an operation in Istanbul ends in disaster, Bond is missing and presumed to be dead. In the aftermath, questions are raised over M's ability to run the Secret Service, and she becomes the subject of a government review over her handling of the situation. The service itself is attacked, prompting Bond to return to London. His presence assists MI6's investigation in uncovering a lead, and Bond is sent to Shanghai and Moscow in pursuit of a mercenary named Patrice. There, he establishes a connection to Sylvia, a former MI6 agent who was captured and tortured by Chinese agents. Blaming M for his imprisonment, he sets in motion a plan to ruin her reputation before murdering her. Bond saves M and attempts to lure Sylvia into a trap. And while he is successful in repelling Sylvia's assault, M is mortally wounded. Bond returns to active duty under the command of the new M, Gareth Malloy. Spectre, 2015. In the aftermath of Sylvia's attack on MI6, a cryptic message from the deceased M sets in motion events that will see James Bond come face to face with the sinister organization known as Spectre. As Gareth Malloy, the new appointed M continues fighting the political pressures that threaten the future of MI6, Bond follows a trail from Mexico to Austria and Morocco as he is drawn into a confrontation with the enemy from his past, one who holds a dangerous secret that will force him to question the value of everything he has fought to protect. Thank you for watching the history of James Bond. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you can, and tell us, what is your favorite Bond movie and why? My favorite, Moonraker. Goldeneye. Goldeneye. Goldeneye's my favorite. Moonraker's second. Although A View to a Kill, yeah, I don't know. Moonraker. Moonraker's my favorite. Anyways, have a great day. Thanks for watching. Bye.